I was thrown out a lot.
It's a great occasion. It's historic, it's beautiful, and it's also lovely to see the people of Cork turning out. And all the people of Cork, and look at the guest list. Ambassadors, ministers, MPs, TDs, you know, and John Morris. I mean, yeah, everybody's happy. The girls look beautiful, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they really look great, dressed up. But again, it goes back to the two lads. And I mean, I know they're having a ball. You can see it in their face, and they're enjoying it. And it's lovely the cousins and relations of Jonathan coming in from everywhere. It's wonderful, you know.
Makes for a great night, doesn't it?
Makes for a great night. Puts a lot of pressure on Lisa and Gerald to get their days brought up. Michael and Jonathan have made it very difficult for me.
First of all, I would like very much to welcome to the Vision Centre our special guest today, the newly elected Lord Mayor Councillor.
On that occasion, a declaration was signed by both of you, stating that there is no legal reason why we may not register as each other's civil partner. So I now call on you both to make a declaration in a few moments in the presence of your witnesses to reaffirm there is still no legal reason why we may not register as each other's civil partner today.
In accordance with the law.
Jonathan, I pledge to share my life with you.
Jonathan, I pledge to share my life with you.
I promise to love, honour and support you.
I promise to love, honour and support you.
I will respect you and be true to you.
I will respect you and be true to you.
Promise to love him and to comfort him through sickness and disease. Therefore, while you think about that, we'll ask you to have a seat for a few minutes. And we are going to listen to your first speaker today. That is Kirsten, and she is going to...
It's a great thing. Yes, the great and very good. By itself, it makes that as heavy light, and it bears evenly all that is uneven. It carries a burden which is no burden. It will not be kept back by anything low and mean.
Of the lifelong promises that you have made to one another here today. So, Michael, I'm going to ask you to take Jonathan's ring from Gerald. And as you place the ring on his finger, simply say, Jonathan,
Jonathan,
I give you this ring
I give you this ring
as a token of my love,
as a token of my love,
a symbol of all that we have promised,
a symbol of all that we have promised,
and all that we now share.
and all that we now share.
Jonathan, in the same way as you place the ring on Michael's finger, simply say, Michael, I give you this ring as a token of my love, a symbol of all that we have promised, and all that we now share. So that almost concludes the first part of our ceremony. And so, by virtue of the authority vested in you
two things have happened for the first time. One is that it's the first same-sex union ceremony, and I'm very pleased that it's happened. We are a civil wedding venue. As you can see, it's a huge event. All sorts of people from all sorts of walks of life have come and simply shared in Jonathan and Michael's celebration today. And secondly, it's the first time in this building that simultaneously the Irish national anthem and the British national anthem, in the presence of the UK ambassador, has been sung. And I think it's in a small way it contributes to what the Queen did when she visited Cork, and for that I just think it's worth celebrating in itself. But mainly it's about Jonathan and it's about Michael, and I simply wish them well for the future.
I think you also went through something like this, and I'm checking it, but for the moment we'd say it's the first civil ceremony, and a wonderful day it is. It only befalls me, on behalf of Lisa, the Best Lady, and myself, to ask you to raise your glasses, and on behalf of all of us to propose a toast to two wonderful friends, two great people, to wish them nothing but time, happiness, good health, success, and fortune for the future. To Michael and Jonathan.
Yeah, I think everybody's enjoyed it. We're about halfway through. We're about 7.5 hours into it, but we're about halfway through. So at this stage, it's about staying standing. When you see so many people who came out to wish us well, and you see so many of the business people of Cork, you see so many people from all walks of life, and the good wishes today were really good. Walking through the English market with the British ambassador, where he met Pat O'Connell of K. O'Connell's, who was the famous fishmonger, who interacted with the Queen when she was here in 2011, was really good. Walking along Oliver Plummet Street, because really what I suppose I'm all about, and what many of our guests here today are all about, is about promoting Cork, promoting business, and encouraging people to come to Cork. And all over the world today we have people from about 18 different countries who are here as our guests. If they come back and visit Cork again, if they visit Ireland again, then it's really good for everybody and really good for business. So that's a good thing about today.
Yeah.
I suppose again, you know, it was historic in St. Peter's in Cork Vision Centre, because 750 years ago when that church was built, today was the first same-sex civil partnership, and really for the Irish national anthem and the British national anthem to be sung for the first time in 750 years in the presence of our government ministers, in the presence of the British ambassador. It's great that our day was part of that, and it's great that that gives something back to Cork, because sometimes if we give as much back as we take, be it in life or in business, then I think we have a good balance.
Deirdre Clune, Minister, MEP, His Excellency, the British Ambassador to Ireland, the Polish Ambassador to Ireland, honorary consuls, members of the local authority, invited guests. It is a great honour for me to be here before you this evening, having been asked to be best man. Well, honoured to be asked some months back, and I was delighted to accept that offer, as long as the best lady, my beautiful fiancée Lisa, and to say that it's absolutely been a wonderful day. We've really enjoyed ourselves, and I think it sums up Michael and Jonathan. It sums up Michael and Jonathan so well when he said to me, "Don't talk about us, I just want to make sure everybody's having a good time." And both of you, I think it epitomises the extraordinary generosity and kindness of heart that's the way you look at this. Because at our wedding, I want my best man to talk about Lisa and I for hours on end. And we're not that interested if anybody enjoys it, as long as the two of us are having a good time. But I just want to say, on a serious note, absolutely wonderful generosity, wonderful occasion, and thank you so much indeed. Well done to both of you. I also think it's important at a time like this, and I thought it was such a beautiful ceremony today, and I congratulate the registrar. Well, I thought he did a wonderful job, and I learned a lot from listening to her, and I really do say that very genuinely. That on these occasions we have to think of and celebrate the lives of Jonathan's parents, Bernard and Patricia, who I've no doubt are looking down on us and are very proud of everything you've done, Jonathan. And Michael's parents, Betty and John, who were the same. We missed the four of them. We'd love to have had them here today, but I think they're here in spirit. And I think they guided the two of you and all of us through such a wonderful, wonderful celebration. So our thoughts are with you. I do want to say a special welcome to, first of all, Rose, because where's Rose sitting? Michael's sister. Where's Rose? Rose, where are you? There she is. Rose actually has been in hospital for the last 10 days, and she only rang me 48 hours ago to say, "Look, Jared, if you get a chance, can you bring me in some wine?" So she was obviously terribly sick. But Rose, it's absolutely wonderful to have you. She came out of hospital yesterday, and she's making a great recovery, and she looks gorgeous. So a big, big welcome to Rose, Michael's sister. I'd also like to say the reason that I'm working at about 25% of my normal capabilities today is due to two factors. One is all of Jonathan's cousins sitting at this table, which worries me as they're very close to my 17-year-old beautiful daughter. Because if they do to her what they did to me last night, she'll be out of commission for weeks. This family have come from Denver, from Sweden, from England, and it's absolutely wonderful, wonderful family. I would honestly and respectfully suggest that for us simple Irish folk, you stay well away from them. Because they drink and drink and drink. And I do want to especially say how wonderful it is to have James here from Devon, who is Jonathan's nephew. He came in over the The second reason that I'm seriously ill today is a miserable table down there, Robert and gang from Northern Ireland. These fellas told me at about 3 o'clock this morning, very kindly said, "Gerald, I gotta say you're great fun." As I was lying on the floor in some club, one of them stepped over and said, "We're gonna go back to the hotel." So stay away from that table, and if we just stay amongst ourselves, we'll be fine. It's great to have you all down from Northern Ireland. I do want to share one or two stories. I believe that a civil ceremony like today in marriage has so many wonderful memories and wonderful hopes for the future. I played golf a few weeks ago, and we were playing golf and went around halfway around with some of the lads. A great friend of mine, Bill Cullen, said to me, he said, "It's very difficult to play golf," he said, "when you're with a long-term partner, because for me to get out and play golf today," he said, "I had to promise Jackie that I'd bring her away to Portugal for a week." And another good friend of mine with me, Mark Condon, said she's had the same problem. I told my wife I'm playing golf tomorrow, and in return I have to paint the house next week. And the third gentleman in the group, Owen Conway, said to me, I had the same thing. My wife was very unhappy, and said, if you're playing golf today, you can bring me to Kildare Outlets where I'm going to shop the next 3 days. And then they turned to me and I said, I have absolutely no problem at all, Lisa. No problem whatsoever. When I'm playing golf, I set the alarm about 5:30, and I turn to her and I say, intercourse or the golf course? And she looks at me and she says, don't forget your jumper. But I do want to say, and before I get down to reading some cards, and I'll keep this relatively short, we have great friends here from the United Kingdom and from Northern Ireland, and I do want to share a story that I have shared with somebody before, and it was when I was reviewing the Department of Defence records recently. Over 30 years ago, there was an incident involving the Irish and the British off the west coast of Cork, where the Irish Sea meets the Atlantic Ocean. And it was a wonderful communication between the Irish and the British. And it went as follows: please divert 15 degrees south in order to avoid a collision. And the response of the British was, on the contrary, we would suggest you divert 15 degrees north. And the response of the Irish, are not listening, you need to divert 15 degrees south now in order to avoid a collision. And the response, on the contrary, this is the Captain of HMS Britannia, second largest ship in the British North Atlantic Fleet, accompanied by 3 destroyers, 3 cruisers and a flotilla of supply ships. And if you don't divert 15 degrees north, we'll take whatever steps are necessary to protect Her Majesty's naval service and all Her Majesty's personnel on board. And the Irish said, well, this is a fucking lighthouse, so it's your call. I could really go on, I hate to tell you.
And extremely painless. But there is 47 pages, so we will try and get through as quickly as possible. And we are now on the bench.
A coach following that, of course, is very, very difficult. But anyway, both Michael and I are really delighted to see all of you here today. All family and friends together in one place. It's been a very special occasion for us to be able to share this day with all of you. For your presence in the Cork Vision Centre today, for what was a very important occasion for Cork to celebrate in the commemoration of St. Peter's and the great and developing relationship between Britain and Ireland. I'd like to give a special welcome to my uncle, Desmond Taylor, from Oxford. I hope you don't mind me saying is celebrating his 88th birthday this year. I would say all of the world. I'd also like to welcome my cousin Susan and her husband Jonathan, my cousin Richard and his wife Susan from Denver, Colorado, and my cousin Nicholas and his wife Elizabeth from Sweden. I also welcome my nephew, James Foley from Devon. He's the good-looking one down there. So many of you have said that he has a great resemblance to me, so thank you very much. And, of course, my very best friend of 26 years, Mr. Joe McCandless from Belfast. With the rest of my friends from the north. I am delighted that Michael's Aunt Mary from Bishop's Stortford is with us today, and also his sister Rose, brother John, nephews and niece, as well as many cousins from around the country, and are all originally from Newcastle West. Thank you.
It is certainly a great honour for us that Cork's first citizen, the Lord Mayor, Councillor Mary Shields, is with us today with her husband Michael. We have known Mary and Michael for many years, and as the Lord Mayor took office just 2 weeks ago, it will be a fantastic year for Cork. And as I'm a great believer, that as we have had very few women who have held the role of Lord Mayor, our city receives extra presence and personality locally, nationally and internationally whenever we have a female Lord Mayor in office. We are also delighted that our immediate past Lord Mayor, Catherine Clancy, is with us today, and her year. Catherine's year in office was one of the busiest and most beneficial years for Cork since the last female holder of the office in 2005-2006, which was Lord Mayor Deirdre Clune, who is with us today as our new MEP for Ireland South. The role of Lord Mayor of Cork is such an important position for a city such as Cork, and one that reaps enormous benefit locally, nationally and internationally for us since the role was created more than 750 years ago. We're also delighted that the new Mayor of the County of Cork, Councillor Alan Coleman, is with us today with his partner Yvonne. And as Cork is the largest county in Ireland and has a great relationship of city and county working together on many things, and will perhaps be one municipal authority in time to come. And Imelda and Donal Coonahan and Breda. And I've had the great pleasure of working with each of them during their terms of office over the last number of years. I'm also delighted that with us today are some of our special guests, the Senior Government Minister Simon Coveney and his wife Ruth, Minister Kathleen Lynch, and Kathleen is Minister of State at the Department of Health and the Department of Justice, Equality and Defence, with responsibility for disability, older people, equality and mental health. She's actually almost running the entire cabinet. As we know here in Cork, no better and more capable woman. I welcome my fellow honorary consuls, and I'm delighted to see that Frances Lynch, here on my left, the Honorary Consul Emeritus of Brazil, is with us today. She has flown in specially from hosting several World Cup parties on Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro last week. And in case any of you are thinking about how best to get on the jet with Frances for the final on July the 13th, I can tell you that the best way to this lovely lady's heart is through the most exquisite of diamonds and a bottle of Michael Barry's best bubbly.
Since I first moved to Cork in 1996, I've always felt a great sense of warmth and friendship from everybody that I have met here. I was born in Devon in the UK, and we moved around the UK as I grew up, as my father's work took us to different locations with Mr. Kipling Cakes. I also lived in Spain and Northern Ireland for a time, so when I arrived in Cork, I knew that it was a very special place. Michael and I have been very lucky to have made such great friends, and in particular everyone that we interact with from a business and civic perspective have become
still somewhat coherent after that. Michael and Catherine are celebrating 30 years.
Lovely to meet you.
Bless you all, Minister,
We wanted our ceremony
Ambassador,
today to be inclusive and everyone for the better. It is of course important that we respect the views of people that may differ from ourselves, but we must also plan for the future and the next generation who have a very different mindset to us. For this reason, our day today is all about ensuring that the focus of this civil partnership is seen to be positive and uplifting.
Gratitude for sharing this day with us, for your exceptional support to us, the exceptional gifts that you have given us for this special day. It's humbling after the many years that we hope to share with you in the time ahead, in the journey of life. Let us all raise our glasses and let us toast you, our wonderful family, our wonderful friends, with a great toast to friendship.
and the best of all.
But I have enormous trouble getting the track for, so I had to cut bits and pieces of it and having a reference, just in case.